So number 6, you guys, is you need to know how to add credit history. All right, how to add credit history. You want to elaborate on that? It kind of flows into number 7 as well. So you want to add on to that, or you want me to kind of flow into number 7 as well?
Well, yeah, flow into number 7 and then we'll merge the two.
Number 7, y'all, is how to properly apply for new credit. So number 6, how to add credit history, and number 7, how to properly apply for new credit.
Now, see, sometimes a person doesn't have the credit that they would like to have, mainly because they just don't have enough stuff on their credit. You know, if you're starting from scratch and you've never borrowed any money, never had a credit card, never had an auto loan, or, you know, different things that are associated with you borrowing money, then you don't have anything for them to judge your credibility on. So it's not that you have horrible credit, it's just that you have little to no credit. So you need more things on your credit in order to give them something to scale from. They just need some things to just prove that you have been borrowing properly. So in order to do that, sometimes you have to add other things to your credit in order to show that you have what it takes in order to borrow properly, and make sure you're doing what you need to do in order to keep your credit in good standing. And sometimes that allows you or puts you in a position to where you have to apply for new credit. You know, you have to get a secure credit card. You have to get, you know, sometimes people use when they're like getting a TV or like when they're like rent a center thing. Yeah, something small. Just to boost their credit. And
I was going to actually say that, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I was going to point that out. You guys, a lot of the times we feel the only way to build our credit is to get a credit card.
Right.
I don't know, maybe because it got the word credit in it, but that is not the only way to build your credit. We actually did a video on this probably about a year ago. There are multiple ways to build your credit. I actually learned, you know, growing up, hey, go ahead and get you a credit card, apply for your credit card so that you can build your credit. But it's not the only thing to do. And actually, it kind of traps a person. You know, I hate when I look back and I see how frivolously I used to spend on my credit card. You can actually do something, like we said, leasing something small like TV or furniture, which I know sounds crazy, but it's actually building up your credit, you guys. And I also say do something where you can't keep running it up. Here's the thing about a credit card. Let me tell you what I mean. Okay, if I had a $3,000 limit, and let's say I spent $2,500 and I paid it off, or I was in the middle of paying it off, then I run it back up because I had an emergency, right? And I have an emergency fund. So I'm running it up, paying it off, running it off, paying it off, you know, paying it down. So here's the thing. You want to put yourself in a position to where you're not going to rely on that money, or you're not going to rely on whatever it is that you're using to build your credit, so that you don't find yourself digging yourself in a hole. Because one thing for certain, two things for sure. The interest on those credit cards are ridiculous. You buy your pair of shoes, can't pay them shoes off, and guess what? You're paying for the shoes 2 or 3 times because that interest will kill you. Right?
Absolutely. And think about the things that you're swiping a credit card for. You know, if you look at it in terms of interest rate, it's almost like you leased your shoes, or you put your food on credit. You know, it's almost like you lease your food, because now the meal that you swiped months ago is still gaining interest, and you're still paying back for simple things. So keep that in mind. And another thing, as it relates to, you know, having new credit, the secure credit cards, how they work is you go to a bank typically, and then say, for instance, you want to build some new credit. You actually give them $1,000 or $500, $300, whatever it is you want to start off of, and now they give you a credit card that's supported by the cash, the money that you gave them. So it's not like you're borrowing, you gave them the money, they just gave you the card. So now as you swipe and you show that you're credible as it relates to your spending, as it relates to not maxing out that card itself, now it just puts you in a position to where you were able to control the money that you gave them, which gave you a certain credit limit, and now you just have to prove through your swiping how good you are as it relates to your spending habits. So that's another way a lot of people use that method, the secure credit card, because it gives them the ability to open up some new credit using their own money and just, you know, be mindful of your spending. Simple.
Yeah.